We don't need that. We need to focus on the local work. Then January came. And who was at the inauguration giving the benediction? It was Rick Warren. And then the Speaker of the House, my friend, Nancy Pelosi, gave an interview to a gay newspaper in her district in San Francisco, saying that repealing DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, was not a priority. And I began to feel real fear and real grief because I believed so much in our President Obama. I campaigned for him. I went to Nevada. Justin Lance Black and I went to Nevada to canvass and walk precincts for Obama. We chose to do that instead of staying home in California to fight against Prop 8. And we came back from Nevada and we began to celebrate the election of our new president, and then the word came in on Prop 8. But really, what's very important now is to not look back to 1978. Look back to 1963, when Dr. Martin Luther King and the great heroes of the Civil Rights Movement understood that the southern states, and probably many others, would never willingly extend equal protection under the law to African American citizens. And so the struggle continued in Selma, in Birmingham, in Montgomery, but they set their sights on Washington. And they went to President Kennedy, and they went to President Johnson after Kennedy was assassinated, and they succeeded in passing the Civil Rights Act of 1964, guaranteeing equal protection under the law to African Americans across all these state borders. Now, we know the struggle against racism is nowhere near over, but the law of the land is clear. That has been the basis for so many victories that have been achieved by people of color in this country. That is what we need today. Now, those who have followed the strategy of state by state, county by county, city by city, these are all good people who are pursuing a strategy for which there was no alternative. You know, back in the 70s when all of this started, there were only a few places, San Francisco, Madison, Ann Arbor, a few places where we could get fractions of equality, little tiny bits of protection. That is the past. And we will not accept it anymore. There is no such thing as a fraction of equality. Now, I know that the fight for marriage equality has been very galvanizing. And when I took this on the march, many people said, well, how can you justify spending money on a march on Washington when we're fighting in California and Maine, and now the right-wingers are trying to overturn what happened in Iowa. We've got another fight brewing in Washington. In California right now, the big thing is to go back on the ballot in 2010 or 2012. But regardless, they're talking about spending tens of millions of dollars for a fight that will not give anyone any rights. Because in California, same-sex couples already enjoy all of the rights that the state government is capable of giving them. Now, let's just assume that your senators, your state senators, find the key to the office and figure out what party they belong to. Get their act together after Alan kicks their asses. Maybe they do the right thing, and maybe you'll win, finally, marriage equality in New York, but you will still be second-class citizens. Because the most important rights that are granted to heterosexual couples through marriage are those granted by the federal government. You can go to another country and fall in love and bring him or her back to this country. You have tax rights, and also the big ticket item, Social Security benefits. First lesbians I ever met were Phyllis Line. They were extraordinary women. They gave their entire life to this struggle. We lost Del last year. Will Phyllis get her benefits? Of course not. But they've been together longer than my parents have been together. So it's not about sexuality. It's certainly not about religion. It's about economic justice and equal protection under the law, which is guaranteed to all citizens of this country. so grateful to all of you for showing up in the rain, but I know there's been controversy about this march, and I just want to take this opportunity right now. Do any of you have any questions?